friends, I'm Madhu. Welcome you to my channel Software Testing World. Today we are going to discuss regarding V model, that is verification and validation model. Before starting the topic V model, let me make you clear that if you want to understand what is V model, then you have to understand software development lifecycle, waterfall model, spiral model and software testing lifecycle. If you are not aware of these things, kindly find all the links in the description box and kindly go through it for understanding the V model, because without all these concepts it is very difficult for you to understand what is V model. Actually, I showed you in the prior videos, that is the waterfall model and spiral model, that these models are having too many drawbacks. Just to overcome all those drawbacks, we are coming with a new model, that is V model or verification validation model. Here V stands for verification and validation. This model is providing the conceptual mapping between the software testing lifecycle, that is STLC, and software development lifecycle, SDLC. In this video, we are going to discuss what is V model, when to use V model, phases of the V model, advantages of using V model and disadvantages of using V model. Let's start with what is V model. It is a standardized step-by-step model. It also follows a sequential or step-by-step design, same as the waterfall model. Here the word verification means the static analysis or review we are doing without executing the code. Here in the verification process, we are just verifying that the evaluating the product development process and to find out that whether the specific requirements are met here or not. And in the validation, it involves the dynamic process, that is the testing done by the executing the code. The validation process of the software is completed, or we are starting after completion of the development process. And here in the validation process, we are validating that the software is meeting the customer expectations and requirements. On this model is known as V model because its shape looks like a V. In one side we are doing the verification and in other side we are doing the validation. You can see this is the V model diagram. Here this is just looking like a V shape. It is a highly disciplined software development lifecycle model where the testing phase and development are parallel to each other, and parallelly we are doing testing and development process. It is one of the extensions of the waterfall model, and we are following this model, as I said you, just to overcome the waterfall and spiral model disadvantages. And here we are following both SDLC, that is software development lifecycle, and STLC, that is software testing lifecycle. Here the BRS, it stands for business requirement specification. As we all know that all the process starts with the requirement. Okay, what we are doing when we are getting requirements from the client, the business analyst or project manager, what they are gathering the requirements, and they are making a BRS, that is business requirement specification document. And what basically happens when the BRS is completed and they are providing the BRS to the testing team, what the testing team is doing, they are analyzing the business requirement specification document, and from there they are starting writing the acceptance test cases. So it is in both the way you can see the arrow, it is related to acceptance testing. When we are getting the BRS or acceptance test cases are ready, and then they are getting it reviewed from the client and the business, first from the team, that is from the business analyst or project managers. After that they are getting it reviewed from the client, and the acceptance test cases were ready from the BRS. Then from BRS we are getting the SRS, that is software requirement specification document. When what they are doing, they are preparing the software requirement specification document, and out of that they are starting writing their test case scenarios. For that is in analyzing the requirements very properly or in a detailed manner, and from there they are making their test scenario document. And first they are making it peer review. They are doing peer review. Peer review is, I'll be discussing with you what is peer review in detail in the upcoming videos. But peer review means you are reviewing your documents with your peers, with whom you are working with, and from there they are making the system test cases. Means that is the test scenarios. Out of that, after getting reviewed the test scenarios, they are making their test cases and getting it reviewed and keeping it ready for doing their system testing. In the upcoming videos I am going to describe you what is system testing. I showed you both the developer and testers. They are involved in the B model from the beginning. When the testers, they are studying the BRS and making the acceptance test cases, that time both the said developers and testers, they both are involved in this, and developers are also analyzing that particular requirements from that business requirement specification, and they getting their doubts cleared. And from the SRS also they are getting analyzed. The requirements are getting analyzed by the developer, and after that the developers are preparing high level design document. HLD stands for high level design document. What is high level design document? I am just giving you an example. First consider BRS. What is BRS? When we are adding two numbers, okay, what are the functional parts and what are the non-functional parts? We are making it distinguish. That is in the SRS. Then comes the part HLD, high level design document. Suppose you are preparing a login module. Just consider a mail, means Gmail. Okay, Gmail login, then Gmail mailing, Gmail chatting and logout. These are the high level design document of Gmail. Means suppose there are 4 modules, and the high level design we are preparing from the Gmail we are preparing in the high level design document. Then comes the lower level design document. It is the subset of high level design document. What we are doing in the low level design documents, just the modules we are separating, and a very clear picture of, suppose login, the very clear picture of the login we are considering in the low level design document. Means what happens if valid login will be happening, what happens if invalid login will be happening, all these things we are keeping in lower level design document. Then start the part coding and implementation. Then development team, they are starting their coding and implementing what are the things they are going to develop. Verifying this left side of this B model is known as the verification model. Just reviewing all this process is known as verification. So the B model's one side is verification, the right side is known as validation. Validation is nothing but the implementation. Okay, what we are doing, just based on this low level design documents, we are doing unit testing. Because when you are doing unit testing, when our coding is completed, that time we are doing unit testing. Unit testing is nothing but the module testing. What we are doing, basically we are taking the all modules one by one and testing it separately as it is working fine or not. Means that's what it is known as validation process. After completion of the unit testing, we are starting with our integration testing. What we are doing here, as we have tested our unit modules in the unit testing, then we are just integrating 2 modules and verifying in the integration testing how it is behaving. Regarding unit testing, integration testing, system testing and acceptance testing, we are going to discuss in our upcoming videos in detail. Now I am just give you a brief description. In integration testing, we are interconnecting the 2 means whatever after completion of our dependent programs writing and unit testing, we are developers, they are interconnecting those programs to build a software. We are doing integration testing just to test the coexistence and communication between the internal modules within the system, how the system is behaving. Then comes the part system testing. Means after completion of the software integration process and integration testing by the developer, then the testing team, they are validating the corresponding software with respect to the customer requirements and the customer expectations being shared by the customer in the software requirement specification document. They are doing both functional testing and non-functional testing. They are having many different techniques they are using while doing that software testing. And what they are doing, whatever test cases they have created based on that SRS document, they are executing those test cases on that particular developed system to get the defects. What are the defects they are getting? For getting the defects, they are executing all those test cases one by one. That process is known as system testing process. After completion of system testing process, the project management combines the development team and the testing team to collect the feedback from the real customers or the model customers on that final software. So they are doing acceptance testing. Acceptance testing basically they are doing in the client's place in most of the projects. Some people from from the management team and some people from the testing team and development team, they are going to the client side just to showcase their software whatever they have developed with that process is known as acceptance testing. What the team are doing, the test cases prepared by the testing team, they are executing those test cases, acceptance test cases on the software, and they are trying to get the feedback from the client. Basically, acceptance testing uncovers the compatibility issues and the other systems available in the user environment, how the particular developed system is behaving in the real environment. That we are getting to know in the acceptance testing. Basically, we are getting the non-functional issues in the acceptance testing. And now we'll discuss the advantages of B model. A B model is a highly disciplined model, as I said you, and its process is step-by-step process. So phases are completed one at a time, and it's very nicely worked for the smaller projects where requirements are very well understood, also in big projects also. So it is very user friendly and it is very simple and easy to understand and also very easy to manage. These are the advantages of the B model, and also as I said you, it overcomes the disadvantage of waterfall model and the spiral model, because in waterfall models, once we have started the process, we can't do any changes in the requirements in between. But in the B model, as we had many pages and in each page there is a review, so we can do the requirement change at any time. It is not a cost effective and it's not a time. Now we'll discuss the disadvantages of the model. It's not a very good proven model for the complex and object oriented projects, and also it is not very good for long and ongoing projects, and the software is getting produced in the coding phase. So the prototype we are not getting, the product we are making, its prototype we are not getting very early. These are the disadvantages of the B model. Thank you for watching my video and kindly subscribe to my channel. Bye.